Am I the asshole for using my friend's quote-unquote logic against her and making her cry? I, 36F, went no contact with my narcissistic family last year as I was done being their scapegoat. My friend was encouraging me to call my mother and reconcile for Mother's Day. And I explained again the emotional and mental abuse I went through and her refusal to take accountability or seek therapy. She then lectured me on how it's hard being a parent. She's a parent, I'm not. That as the eldest, you should have helped your mother around the house more and with your younger siblings, and that I should just let bygones be bygones and let my mother and call my mother for Mother's Day. I told her, so you think if I had done more chores and accepted more parentification as a kid, then I wouldn't have been abused? If it's too hard to be decent to your kids, then you shouldn't be a parent. Maybe you should have helped your abusive ex-husband around the house more. Maybe you shouldn't have done dinner 10 minutes late because you know his job is stressful and it's hard being a provider and father. Next month is Father's Day. You should call and reconcile with him. How could I, as a child, stop the abusive behavior of an adult when, as an adult, you can stop your husband from abusing you? She cried and walked off. Our mutual friends agreed that she was in the wrong to pressure me to reconcile with my mother, but she meant well and didn't understand, and you took it too far. I did it to make a point on how abuse isn't okay from anyone, even your parents. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not allowing my neighbor to use my driveway? I, 34F, have been living in my current house for about 4 years. It's a lovely neighborhood, and I genuinely have a great relationship with my neighbors. However, there is one neighbor, Dave, 45M, who has been causing some issues lately, and I need some perspective on whether or not I'm the asshole here. Dave and his family moved into the house next door about a year ago. They have a narrow driveway that can only fit one car, and their house doesn't have much street parking available. This hasn't been a problem until recently when Dave started hosting large gatherings at his house. During these gatherings, Dave's guests would park their cars on the street, which would quickly become overly crowded. As a result, some of his guests started using my driveway without asking for permission. Initially, I let it slide because I didn't want to cause any conflict. However, it began happening more frequently, and on a few occasions, I'd be unable to move my own car when I had to go to work or leave for my own business, forcing me to go to Dave's house and play a guessing game for someone to move their car. I decided to address the issue with Dave, explaining that I didn't mind his guests occasionally using my driveway, but I would appreciate it if he could ask for permission first. Dave seemed understanding and apologized for the inconvenience. However, the situation didn't improve. Dave continued to host gatherings and his guests continued to use my driveway without permission. I decided to take matters into my own hands and place a no parking sign in my driveway, along with a polite note asking Dave's guests to respect my property, also with a warning that I'd have their vehicles towed. Last weekend, Dave hosted another party and his guests were forced to find alternative parking due to the sign. Dave confronted me saying I was being unreasonable and that I should be more accommodating to his guests. He argued that it was just a few hours and that I was creating unnecessary tension in the neighborhood. I stood my ground explaining that I had to try to address the issue politely and that my driveway is my private property. I added that he should have respected my request for permission and made better arrangements for his guests' parking. Ever since then, me and Dave have not spoken to each other, and his family most of the time shooting me a bad look. So am I the asshole for not allowing my neighbor to use my driveway for his guests, despite having tried to address the issue politely? Nah, I'm like incredibly selfish, so I would have just had them towed outright. Like, I don't care if it's for a few hours. You're not gonna just randomly park in my driveway. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. No, I would have had them all towed at every single time. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out of my house for telling me to take down a picture? My husband and I got started with baby making a little early. To sum it up, he was my only boyfriend in high school. To this day, he's the only man I've ever kissed. We were responsible, or so I thought. When I was 17, I got pregnant. I went through with it. Well, a few years later, when we were 20, we were doing really good and I wanted another baby. So we tried to get pregnant again, and I did. But unfortunately, I miscarried. I didn't want another baby for some time after that, but we eventually gave birth to 2 other kiddos. We are 26 now, kids are 9, 4, and 2. When we bought our house, I wanted to do something to show off our beautiful babies, so I got nice pictures of them, and I got them all framed. But for our unborn child, I obviously didn't have a picture for them, so I had them frame a picture of the ultrasound and I put it next to the other kids. I lost some extra space because I want more kids. I want more. I want one more, maybe even 2 more. Today, my sister said I should take down the ultrasound. I asked why, and she said it wasn't a real baby, and it throws off the space in between each picture. I said I want another baby one day, so I'll put their picture on the other side. And she said, oh, then just replace the real baby with that one and move them around. I told her my unborn baby was real and I'm not taking that down. She said, oh, where are they? I'd love to meet them. I got so freaking mad, I told her to get the hell out of my house and never come back. And she said, you are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and left. She told my parents and they said it was super rude for me to kick her out, that we could have just agreed to disagree. Am I the asshole? Nah, man, it would have been hands. It would have been all hands. How dare you? How dare you? It would have been all hands with any one of my siblings. 100%. How dare you say something like that? That is so not okay. Am I the asshole for not letting my sister move in? I, 30F, and my sister, 33F, used to be roommates. We lived together for 4 years, and for it wasn't always a bad experience, which is why I made it work for so long. 2 years ago, I finally got my own place, and it's been amazing. I moved 2 blocks from my sister, and we pretty much hang out every day. Having my own place has been liberating. Stresses that come with roommates were gone. There would be months where she didn't have rent money and I had to cover her rent. She always paid me back, but it's frustrating. She has a medical condition that messes with her mobility, so she needs a wheelchair. This requires assistance. Laundry, cooking, driving, and cleaning. When we lived together, I was basically a live-in caregiver covering major expenses. Since moving, I'm not next door, so she has been better with reaching out to other people to assist. She's not financially responsible. She tends to be more impulsive with her spending before rent or payments. She's always been this way, and I've stopped nagging her about it. The problem is, this has finally come to a head. Over the years, she has been able to receive rental assistance, which will usually give her her negative balance back to 0. She's been doing this for years. Recently, she was rewarded rental assistance in January and got her rent balance back to 0. She went back to her habits and now she is over $6,000 short on her rent. After the pandemic, the city doesn't have much funds. They're only able to cover 1 month. She is unemployed and has bad credit. Her landlord has sent an eviction notice. She will be homeless. There are friends she can live with, but I know that it won't be long term. I think my level of patience will be different than what our friends have. Friends have mentioned that she could move in with me, but emotionally, I don't think I can do it. Since we are so close, it's frustrating that people look at me to come and save her. I know that if I step in, this would be expensive. A roommate that can't pay a lot is a lot. 2, I'll be a caregiver again. I don't think she realizes how much effort it takes to help her shower, cook, do laundry, and clean up after her, and the gas required for appointments. 3, I have to keep in check feeling anger because I work hard to stay afloat, and she just spends. I know that with being $6,000 short on rent, it's gonna be hard, and my landlord would not allow it. And 4, with how broke she is, I know it will not be simple for her to find housing. An unemployed, bad credit, and an eviction on her credit, new housing will take time. So, I don't think I can do it. Am I the asshole? I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know I enjoyed making it. I'm really enjoying this look. I think I'm really getting a hold of this is the face I make. This is what I do to do this and everything. And I'm really loving it. And I really hope this inspired you to make beautiful art with your face. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I post. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.